Welcome to Module 4 of the Administration Code Regulations Training, 703 KAR 5080. My name is Shara Savage in the Office of Assessment and Accountability. During Module 4, we will cover seating charts, good faith effort checklist, funding, and student discipline. All state required tests must have a seating chart. Seating charts can be used for group testing, like the layout of the classroom, or for individual testing, which we see most often for accommodated students or makeup testing. The chart may be kept in either paper or electronic format and completed by the classroom teacher. A chart will be completed for each test session and kept on file. Sometimes the DAC or BAC will supply the teacher or test proctor with a locally created seating chart template to use, especially if the room arrangement is significantly different. Example templates created by KDE are available on the KDE website. For those who want to create their own seating chart templates, certain information must be included. So what information must be included on the seating charts? The test name, district and school names, the test date, room number, content area being tested, all the student names, names for all testing staff in the room, and the room layout. The student names should be placed on the appropriate places on the room layout. Some indicate where the student is absent from a seat on the chart. It is acceptable to use the same seating chart for more than one test session, especially if you are testing more than one section on the same day with the same students. If you have questions about seating charts you or your school have created, check with your district assessment coordinator. Students' motivation and rewards, including how to fund those efforts, can be confusing. This section will help remove some of that confusion. Good faith effort checklist may be used at any grade. The checklist expectations should be in general in nature and not include any requirement that would take away from student ownership. The checklist may include things such as comes to school prepared for testing with paper, pencil, and erasers, or with their Chromebook, arrives on time, does not disturb others, uses time wisely, and focuses on testing during the administration time. The checklist should not include any type of evaluation of the student responses, such as wrote 3 paragraphs or that test answers were not correct. No evaluative feedback can be given to students until all testing is complete and materials are out of the hands of the students and teachers. The district or schools can decide how to share the results of the good faith effort checklist based on completing testing. Results may be shared for a grade level at the school when all testing is completed for that grade level. A school could decide to share results of a checklist only after all testing for the entire school is completed, or a district may give directions as to how the results can be shared. With the move to online testing, some of the currently used good faith effort checklist may be required to have some updates. In a paper pencil test, it is easy to visually scan student responses following the test session to see if a student did a pre-write or completed all test questions. This may not be available for online testing. Once the test is submitted by the student, the test proctor cannot access the student responses. Use of the checklist may require the teacher to mark the checklist as the students are testing. When using the good faith effort checklist, remember that this is the student's work, meaning we cannot require the student to use a particular organizer, strategy, or method to complete the test. If we choose to use a good faith effort checklist, how do we fund the rewards? Funding rewards for the Good Faith Effort Checklist may come from various sources. The best source may be donations from individuals, businesses, parents, or staff to fund the student incentives. There are regulations besides the Administration Code regulation that applies to curriculum instruction, reward funding, etc. When planning activities tied to assessment, refer to the appropriate regulations. Your district or school staff should be able to assist you with which regulations apply to your situation. One such regulation concerns with the acceptance of donations and using school bank accounts. Follow the Red Book rules. It is not acceptable to use local school board funds or cash rewards from school activity funds generated by students for student incentives or rewards to A. Attend school during the testing window, B. Participate in assessment activities, or C. Perform well on state-required assessments. Also, Extended School Services, or ESS funds, cannot be used for test preparation. When it comes to funding, please check with your school or district financial staff, especially if you are contemplating giving cash rewards. Your district may have policies in place for acceptable rewards. Having a student retake a part of assessment because of disciplinary issues is rather straightforward with a paper pencil test, but not as easy for online testing. For online testing, the proctor will need to make note of the inappropriate content while monitoring, since they will not have access to the test responses once the student submits their answers. When a student's responses to a test item or items are reviewed and found to contain inappropriate language or drawings, the student may be instructed to answer the questions again on a separate sheet of paper for disciplinary purposes. The original responses shall be submitted for scoring to the testing contractor. The paper on which the retaken item is answered should be considered a secure material and treated as such, following the directions in the administration manuals for how to submit the retaken item to KDE. No changes may be made to the original responses recorded in the student response book. It is now time for our fourth check for understanding. I will give you a couple minutes to read through these yes or no questions. Then we will discuss the answers. Are seating charts required for makeup testing sessions? Yes, for both group and individual testing. Is it acceptable to announce on the intercom each day the results of the Good Faith Effort Checklist? No. Next question. Is it acceptable to let students know that they are doing a good job on the test responses? No. This is the students' work, not ours. Next question. Is it acceptable on the Good Faith Effort Checklist to require students to use a strategy they learned in the class when answering a test question? No. Requiring a certain strategy interferes with student ownership. This concludes Module 4 of 6 in the Administration Code regulation. Please review all 6 modules to complete the Administration Code training. If you have questions, please contact us at KDE DAC Information by email at dacinfo@education.ky.gov or call us at 502-564-4394. Thank you for participating in this section of the training with the Office of Assessment and Accountability.